Hello again, my name is Relax and Panic.
And I am Most Evil Lifeform.
And we are reacting. Relax and Panic is reacting. Interesting one. We are reacting. So what? Nah, well, let's just go on. We could restart, but oh well. You're allowed to see me fumbling. You got that one. So, we're reacting once again to RWBY. It is season 4, episode 11.
We're nearly done.
Next one is finale. And we are just like, you know, going through it. Last episode we've seen the strange Grimm, who seems to be heading towards the village where, or the destroyed village, where Ruby and John and Crow are.
Well, but I could imagine that they tease and don't show this in this episode and rather go back to Vice and Blake, maybe?
Might be.
And that this Grimm is reserved for the finale.
Might be very real. Yeah, I can see that. So, what's your guess?
I guess, no, I guess we will see Vice and Blake. And
it's the last one, and then in the finale they go
for a Grimm.
Action.
That would be my guess.
Okay.
Who am I?
Well, you are the most evil life form. By the way, it was a very cool shirt this time because no one could see it. They can't read what is written there, by the way. Our Lady of Sarcasm. Very fitting. So, ready?
Sure.
Let's go.
Whoosh. Woo! Control them. Whole point of it, isn't it? And to learn the new abilities.
There's a Ringle Tringle thing.
Ringle Crinkle.
Enough. I thought you were the girl that wanted power. Did you lie to me? Then stop holding back. If you wish to master your new powers, you must...
Oh. Ah. Cut off.
I'm sorry. She'll forgive me. Please, forgive me.
Tyrion. Your task. Were you successful?
No. But hope is not lost. My tail, my stinger, I poisoned him. Crow. He will not be a nuisance to you any longer. No, no longer. I've done that. Have I done well? Have I pleased you?
The last eye is blinded. You disappoint me.
And she's doing nothing, just saying.
But he was very, like, looking out for her and for her approval. This was already shown before. I'm waiting for him to eat him. Great, starting to eat the Grimm. This is what I'm waiting for. This insanity.
The last eye was blinded.
So there was another eye.
I'm not sure about that one, but...
Say the last eye.
Doesn't mean that there are others.
Well, you would use the eye is blinded. And not the last eye. fitted her color, her arm to her color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember saying that you were ready.
Oh yeah? You gonna try and stop me?
No. I think I'm still too sore after our last fight. I just wanted a better goodbye than a letter. And I also have a question for you. Where are you going?
What do you mean?
Well, despite asking him numerous times not to, I know that Crow told you where your mother's been at these days. I know how much you want to see her. I've stopped you in the past, and I won't anymore. And we both read the note. We know your sister is headed to Mistral. So, where are you going?
Not being answered. Of course not. Sneaking out. Time to leave. With those shoes.
Yeah.
Vice. Really.
Let's go.
I mean, it's huge, man. And they have puppets at the front.
You don't try to sneak out. Shoes which making those sounds. Just don't. Where the carpet ends.
And there's another carpet, possibly.
Master Whitley, yes, of course. I'll be just a moment. Head to the first floor library. I'll meet you there.
A carpet.
You need to control yourself.
You're talking to me about control? Do you even hear what you're saying?
I am basing everything on my reports from your daughter.
A daughter you stole!
But we are not getting into that again.
Oh yes, we have far more pressing matters to discuss, starting with your apparent lunacy.
Doc!
Winter is one of my best. If she's telling me there's a threat in Mistral, then I'm not going to take that news lightly.
She's been there for weeks. People are mobilizing, sudden spikes in weapons and dust trade. Someone is about to make a play, and I do not trust Leo to stop them.
You've never trusted anyone other than yourself.
And for good reason!
If Oz had just listened to me
You
from the
correct.
start.
You need to get a grip.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Our people need protection. By this time next week, the Kingdom of Atlas will be officially closing its borders. No one in, no one out, without the Council's permission.
You mean without your permission?
And if that becomes the case, I would think you'd want to be on my good side.
Yeah, well, I still don't like this power game because Wood
Yeah,
is
sure.
not so clean himself.
Lock.
It's locked.
What are you talking about?
So, winter's a mystery.
Klein! Klein, where are you?
Keep your voice down. I told you I'd be here.
Be grumpy.
Are you sure Mistral is safe?
No. But it's where I'll find Winter.
I suppose she'll be the only family you have left after tonight.
I'll
Father
always
is
have
not-
you.
That's true.
You
Oh.
most certainly will.
I think the door's open.
No.
Thank you, Klein.
Blake?
This is why, son. This is why I left them all behind.
What are you... Wait. Where am I?
I am done seeing my friends hurt because of me.
Blake.
Shut up! Do you think I like being alone? Every day I think about them. Ruby, Weiss, Yang. They were my friends. I left them like I never thought I could love anybody. And I hope they hate me for leaving.
You don't mean that.
Yes, I do! Everyone thinks they can help me, but they can't. You saw Ilya last night, and she's not even the worst. No. No more. They're better off without me. I made my choices, and I'll deal with the consequences because they belong to me.
You think you're being selfless, but you're not. Yeah. That chameleon friend of yours got me pretty good. But I'd do it all again if it meant protecting you. And I can promise Yang would say the same. You can make your own choices, sure. But you don't get to make ours. When your friends fight for you, it's because we want to. So stop pushing us out. That hurts more than anything the bad guys could ever do to us.
Still.
But if it makes you feel any better, the next time I go up against Lizard Girl, it won't be for you. It'll be to get even.
My hero.
Oh.
Oh dear, would you look at that? He's awake. Thank goodness.
Carly, please.
Mom?
Hey, Mrs. B.
Mrs. B.
What are you doing? Well, sweetheart, your father needed to speak with the two of you. Huh?
They definitely
You were right to be
would
suspicious.
prepare this door.
What do you mean?
Adam Taurus is planning to overthrow the leader of the White Fang and stage a full-scale attack on Haven Academy. It will be the fall of Beacon all over again.
Not if we destroy the White Fang, once and for all.
No. We're not going to destroy the White Fang.
Over.
We're going to take it back.
We're back.
It was theirs, man. It was loud.
Not again. Not again.
What are you guys doing here?
Did you hear that noise? What was that?
No.
Ren, what is it?
Wait. Do you guys hear that?
No.
Ren?
Find him. Ooh. Pretty.
Well, depends on what you think to be pretty.
Pretty.
There it is. So,
Look at smiling.
Yeah, it's happy to be there again.
Yeah,
Hey, Ren, old pal, how are you doing? We haven't seen each other so long.
No, it reminds me a lot of Jack Skellington, for example, and he's like, "Hey guys."
Yeah.
Pretty.
So, you were more than right about some of the episodes. So we, not all, but how could you? How could you? I mean, so we went back to Weiss and we went back to Blake, which were the main parts, no question there. We went back to Cinder first, interestingly.
Yeah.
So she is training her abilities. And
I mean, this was mentioned before in the very beginning of the season, and it was also clear that she needs to get control over it and that she's not on the full capacities, which she could be, what Salem tries her to become.
Yeah, and she was already very powerful before, so nice.
We don't know what what Ruby's attack actually did to her. If this also like weakened her,
might be,
and she needs to recover on this regard.
Yeah, it might be as well. Then Tyrion came back. Had to confess that he did not do so good, but he got Crow, and I think Salem is overall quite happy with what went on. I mean, it is like he didn't get Crow. He didn't get Ruby. Well, not so nice, but he did get Crow. And in any regards, Crow at the moment for Salem and her pals is the definitely more dangerous one. He's the huntsman, the one that
I'm not sure.
kept an eye on them. No, in the meaning of what they know.
They know that she has silver eyes.
Yeah.
They know about her abilities. I mean, Cinder is the living example of what her abilities can do without being trained or being refined.
Yeah, but they dealt with her kind before.
Yeah, true, but still. And she also stated, no, she's not pleased. You disappoint me.
I think the you disappoint me from her was tactical. Not sure how to say. She knew what she did to him in this moment.
But this was not tactical when it was out of joy, to be honest, because there is no reason to upset him in the sense of...
No, she knew he would suffer, but she knew that... I think that he would try even harder in the future due to that. So this is... She did not hit him with anything or you know...
I mean, he is clearly just a tool.
Yeah.
I mean, he was losing basically his scorpion tip, so... They didn't even care. It was like not even.
He didn't say it. It wasn't mentioned.
He mentioned it.
No,
like he lost. It was mentioned.
No, he said I poisoned him with my stinger. He never said to her, to anyone there, that he lost it.
I think he lost. He said that he lost his.
No.
I'm pretty sure he said that.
It
was
tail,
in the beginning.
I poisoned him.
But I think it was mentioned that he lost it, and it was visible as well.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
They are not blind.
But I think she just took away her generosity from him,
and
which is...
The next thing was she just took her back on it, and the Grimm was jumping on him, and it was not clear if he could have easily been died there, and it wouldn't have mattered.
I think not. I agree to disagree there with you, because I think she is very well aware of how to use him and how to manipulate him. So I think she, by just saying... you disappoint me.
Yeah.
She knew that this was one of the harshest things she could say to him. Instead of giving him a long speech or anything.
This is like okay.
This was the one where he was hurt the most, and I think maybe the Grimm was just there, maybe, but I can think myself very well that she put the Grimm there. Because she knew that he would then go in rage and
in my opinion, this is interpreted too much for him.
Yeah.
For me, it's more like he is disposable as everyone else, and is more there to show how ice cold Salem is, and that everyone can be replaced as soon as she wants to, and that she has no compassion to any of them.
That might be true. So, which brings me to Cinder. So towards Cinder,
the tone against her gets harsher.
Yes. And she said, you were the one that wanted power.
Right.
Which sounds as though Cinder came to Salem.
I wouldn't say that Cinder came to Salem. I would rather say that they also like met by a chance, and that Cinder was in a similar situation like Emerald was.
Yeah.
That Emerald was hungry, and Cinder was giving her food, and Cinder probably is out for revenge. I would say that, for example, her parents were in some way or form killed. Maybe by us or someone else. Not us. Otherwise, that would be more personal.
No, then there would be more
in general, that against the world, something happened which like motivated her to.
Cinder is not coming over completely evil.
Yeah,
she is. It is strange, and I am not sure what her deeper reasons are. So she wants power. There has to be a reason why she wants it. So she wants to go against someone or something, like maybe a company, a state itself, whatever. We will maybe learn in the future.
Maybe her family was killed in a similar fashion like Grant's was killed, but under different circumstances.
Yeah, but not by Grimm then.
Could be by Grimm.
No, then she wouldn't.
She's overpowering the Grimm anyway. The power, she seeks power to. The thing is, as soon as you're feeling helpless, powerless, you seek power in some way or form. And depending on who you meet and or what your circumstances are, you can end up on either side.
What I think might be instead is that somehow Huntsman, if we are talking about family, somehow Huntsman let them down. You know, that there's like, that their parents, then they may have died by Grimm, but that she blames the Huntsman for it.
Could be,
which would be a reason why she's going against the Huntsman in general. Everyone, you know? Might be. We don't know enough.
I'm not sure about this, because she is was way too calm around being the Huntsman. And the next thing is the Huntsmen are just being a target because they are protecting what Salem really wants. She just wants to weaken the Huntsmen, not because of a personal vendetta, but because they're simply in the way, and it's easier to get the relics if the Huntsmen are not. If the academies are basically abandoned, and the protection shield, which were the Huntsmen, are gone. So that's why they were.
Salem is going after the relics.
Yeah.
So that the Huntsmen, the academies, and everything is just, you know, in the way.
So basically, she wants to become a goddess, if you want it like that, and to change the world in her fashion. And Cinder will become the one who carries all the maiden powers, but still, the maiden powers are not as powerful as to be a goddess. Which explains why
no
Salem says, "Yeah, here, have the maiden's powers. I will be a god."
Yeah. So she very likely. What I think. Seeing that this goes towards each academy, if Salem would be able to give, let's say, 3 of the maiden powers to Cinder, Cinder might be powerful enough to finally storm the last bastion, which very likely is Atlas, seeing with a strong military, and they're just closing borders, so I guess maybe Atlas, where they wouldn't be able to do anything else. So let's say 3 academies have fallen by whatever means. Then you know that the 4th academy and possibly the state and everyone knows, okay, whatever reasons, how it happens, the next thing is here. So let's pool every army and everything here. And then you cannot go sneaky or send in Grimms. It would be too much. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why.
The thing is, I think that they will infiltrate, that they will use Jacques. If it will ever be shown for Atlas, because she cannot use Grimms there. They're freezing.
Just too cold,
It's just too cold. So this is already a big disadvantage. But what her advantage is that there are people in Atlas who are in disfavor of currently we see that Ironwood and Jacques are not getting along, and that Jacques feels like overpowered, and this will be probably a weak spot in the end, because Jacques will just simply switch sides because he likes to win, and he has the feeling that this other side will win, and he will have no afterthoughts, because Ironwood already put him under pressure, which he's clearly not a friend of.
Yeah, but that is very far away, and we're speculating very, very far away.
But I think that Atlas will not be overthrown with power, but from within.
So, let's go for the others. Talking about Jacques, let's talk about Weiss. So Weiss is escaping. And we've just seen, as you mentioned, that Jacques and Ironwood are having problems getting along. Although I already stated during watching it that I'm not very fine with watching Ironwood sticking it to Jack. You know, although it is nice to see someone showing Jack that there's someone stronger.
It's the same thing he did with us before.
Exactly. And he's, I don't know if his decisions are good. So he's clothing the borders, he's concentrating on Atlas himself, but he's taking over power, and power is always a dangerous
I don't think that this was his decision to close the borders, because it's not what he wanted. No, they were talking about this very early on, that they considered to close the borders.
Yes.
It was not like Ironwood came now up with this just to put pressure on Jack. And I think that Ironwood actually is not a friend of the idea to close the borders.
It sounded different. He was like leaning to Jack and saying, next week we will close the borders.
Yeah, the council.
And only the council will then be able to decide who goes in and out.
Yeah.
And you want to be on my side. This sounds, at least in this moment, he's very confident. He's very happy with the fact, because then he can decide who's going in and out.
No, for me it's more like he is using this to his advantage, because he knows that this gives him a pressure point on Jack. But it's not like I don't think that he is like, yes, the borders needs to be closed, because his people are still outside. Yeah, it could be a form of control, but I don't think that this in the moment was the point of...
He controls the council, so he can decide that the people
I don't know if he
allowed
controls the council.
2 seats. It sounds very much. Jack said...
He doesn't have 2 seats.
Council,
he has 2...
he has 2 seats in the council.
He has 2 seats
in
the council?
2
because
seats
he's the leader
in
of the academy, has automatically a seat in the council?
The leader of the academy has a seat, and the leader of the army has a seat. He has 2 seats. That was mentioned in the past already. No, he could decide, because he kind of threatened Jack with the fact that he controls the council.
It was mentioned in the past that he has a seat in the council as the general... as a general, and is the leader of academy, but it doesn't mean that he has 2 seats in the council, because the council is not necessarily... This would mean like, hey, automatically the person of the academy has a seat in the council. Okay, is this only the council of Atlas? Is it this council in general?
Atlas. It's about Atlas.
So because the general council, I don't think so. That's how it works, because the other academy leaders don't have a seat in any council.
No, that's another council there. We've seen the council that voted against Ozpin, but that was the council of this kingdom. The council of Atlas has its very own.
And I think what was mentioned before, that he has 2 seats, was not referring to the council of the kingdom. It was referring to one of them is authoritative enough to have 2 seats, in the sense of that he is general and the leader of the academy.
That is a speech of Cinder. No,
yeah.
It was mentioned the one time when we have first seen Ironwood again. It was with Jack as well, and he said that he has 2. Yep. I know it for sure. And I will show you why we do not record, so that you don't look bad. So let's jump back into the story. So Wise listened to them discussing.
Gives her the assurance to go to Mistral.
Yeah, where she, as it seems, already wanted to go. So she decided that before. But you can see in this moment that Ironwood is having temper problems. He really starts to lose control because he smashed the desk. And I don't think it was a way to intimidate Jack. He really just smashed it in this moment. You could see it was cracked. Some people pointed out in the comments in the past that the half-shaved appearance of him, in contrary to season 1 to 3, is, in many people's opinion, not to make him look better, but towards that he is kind of losing, at least a little bit losing control over himself. So, some people pointed out that they have advisors. So some people there who worked in the military, and they stated that those more uncontrolled military types start to grow more fierce beards, in the meaning of don't shave as often and are not clean shaved anymore. He was clean shaved before, and now he's more like this, only shaving. I'm not sure if it is true. So, but many pointed out that it seems to them as though he's losing at least a little bit of his temper.
I also think that this is because the whole situation gets more tense. I mean, he is involved. He knows about the relics and the danger, while Jacques is clearly not one of the people who knows what's going on. And he tries to get people to do the right thing without
He's
telling them.
He's very likely completely alone in his kingdom.
To know what's going on. So what he currently is losing is like, okay, there are people like Jacques who are, because of arrogance, not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they, from a company point of view, he was already like not keen of the council because they stopped the export of dust, which is hurting his company and his business. And but Jacques not playing along is against Ironwood's interests, and he's like getting impatient with this kind of. You have never seen him having this kind of behavior against Ozpin, also because I think he has a lot more respect for Ozpin, and I don't think he has actually a lot of respect and patience for Jacques, because Jacques' actions are simply egocentric.
So, and then Weiss went along through a hidden entrance in the private library.
Yeah, which is pretty common in big mansions to have the side tracks or for secret ways for all the employees.
Then Blake and Sun. So that was a very important scene.
I was waiting for this a long time to happen. It's a thing I saw before in other anime, manga stories, whatever. That you have this person who is like, okay, I isolate myself only because of the others, and it's a very egotistical thing, because you rip also the others of their decision to be with you and to simply ignore what they want. It's a very egocentric thing to do. And I was waiting for this to happen. It was like getting old.
Oh well, it was the second time someone talked to her like that. It was we have had it in the past with Yang.
Yeah, that's what the disappointing thing was. I thought she had understood it already.
It was not the same discussion. This one was about
it's the same theme.
It's the same theme, that she's a little bit stubborn sometimes and thinks she is doing the right thing for others, and that is the main thing. That she thinks that she has the poker of wisdom. I know what is best for everyone, not and I do this by, as he said, by hurting myself. I'm being selfless, and like this, I'm so selfless, and that's what he's pointing out to her there. You're not. You think you're selfless? That's stupid. You're hurting us. I think that was important. It shows a little bit from a standpoint of writers why they overplayed her, I think, in this season a bit. Maybe they wanted, like stick it in the face of those who don't get small things. That's why it was too much. We still agree there. So it was an important speech. It was a nice one, nicely, and then it was a little bit of comedic relief with. I mean, hey, Mrs. B. So they were listening to, and I guess seeing that they listened, I hope they listened long enough, so possibly he got a more positive attitude from the father now.
I don't think that the father actually has an issue with him. I'm still convinced by that. This thing for I don't like you is more really for comedy, and I really think that he would, if, for example, let's say in the next season or so, Blake returns and goes to Haven. That he will put his son aside and
watch out for her.
You watch out for her, and if anything
I will rip your mind!
Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, sure. The typical one, this. I agree there with that one.
And that's more the thing. And you don't say that he would have sent him away if he really would really not liking him. He is still the town's chief, right?
The chieftain of Menagerie.
Chieftain, right? So he could have you are not staying in my house. Go away. You yada yada. He has enough power, but he still is like, I don't like you. You're too much like me. Or
that is your opinion.
Yeah, it's still my opinion.
With the listening and everything, that was more like Miss B was the one who is more like
because
him.
They also get well along. Also, we don't know how he was when he was younger.
Yeah, we don't know. So, then we had Black Weiss, and we had this finish now. Okay, so there was nothing surprising here. So the thing appears, the group is back together, time for fight. Yeah. Pretty likely. That's the
finale.
So, that's it for this time. Right?
And he's pretty powerful. Many arrows in his back.
Yeah. And swords.
But there were also, it seems there were not, well, there was a huntsman around in the previous town.
Yeah.
We will see.
Who wasn't able to do anything. Or at least not enough. So, this is it for this time. As always, if you want to see the next episode, which is the finale of Season 4, well, just go over to my Patreon and enjoy it there. Or wait, and it will appear up here on YouTube as well. So,
you're close! Season 5. And then you are not ahead of me anymore.
It's just one episode now, you know. I still can throw in stuff from Ruby Shibi, which she will not get though. So that's fine. So this is it for this time. Please like, comment, subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic.
And I am Most Evil Life Form.
Goodbye and out.
Bye.